Hello, everyone. This is Rosie, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of my podcast called My Intrusive Thoughts. This is literally my first time sitting in front of the setup, speaking into a microphone, and I have my coffee with me here, and I'm just so pumped and so happy that I can get to do this. Since this is the first episode, I wanted to sort of start with introductions, but then I sat down, with my little notepad and pen, and I was like, so, how do I introduce myself? And it's funny because as kids, this is the first thing that you learn in school, right? You learn how to introduce yourself, you tell your name, your age, and all sorts of basic knowledge, general knowledge things. But as an adult, I find it so hard to, what do we say? I mean, how am I supposed to, talk about myself without sounding pretentious or, obnoxious, and also conveying the information that needs to be conveyed. It's crazy, but I'll give it a try. Alright, so what do I have to say about myself? Well, I'm Rukaya, that's my actual name, but I go by Rosie for most of my peers because growing up, I lived with a lot of, foreigners, and I have a lot of friends who cannot pronounce my Arabic name right, and it just grates on my nerve when people cannot pronounce my name right. Well, to this day, a lot of people cannot even, spell my name right, so, just one of those things when you have a very complicated name that people just can't even. I think my dad, to this day, cannot even spell my name right. He always mixes up the I's and the Y's, and I'm just like, you gave me this name. But anyways, so my name is Rukaya, but I go by Rosie, and drumroll please. I'm a med student. Like, how many med students have you guys come across who have started podcasting? I feel like there is a connection, okay? Personally, it's the lack of socialization that we have to go through during med school. Not for everybody, I'm not trying to generalize here, but for me personally, I spent so much time in the library and with my books that I found that I kind of devolved as a social person, as a social being, and that is probably a reason why I find it so hard to go up to people and talk. Small talk is torture, okay? If anybody told me to just walk up to somebody and be like, introduce yourself or try to make friends, I would literally, want to do anything else. I would sign up for army. I don't know. I would go fight in a war, but do not ask me to have small talk or to introduce myself or whatever. It just, oh my god, it amps up my social anxiety so much. But anyways, yes, I'm a medical student, and I'm actually graduating this year, so, good luck to me for that and all my friends who probably are going to be listening to this. Good luck to us. Also, as far as hobbies and interests are concerned, I'm a very avid reader. I love reading. I love writing. I'm into poetry as well. I appreciate a good piece of poetry. Since my mother tongue is Urdu, and I grew up in a family that was very, arts oriented, I kind of very early on developed an interest in poetry, and I love Urdu poetry. I think Urdu is such a beautiful language, such an expressive language, and yeah, I definitely enjoy that. I love dramas. I am a very, very enthusiastic K-drama watcher. Watcher? Is that the word? Yeah. And music, obviously. If I did not mention music at this point, I think my friends would disown me. But I love music in literally all shapes and forms, because music is something that transcends. God, I can't talk. Transcends. Oh God, I literally can't say this word. Transcends borders and languages. Funnily enough, my experience with podcasts and, forming this habit of listening to podcasts started with true crime. I'm a very, very enthusiastic and very avid listener of podcasts about true crimes. So that's how I started, growing an interest in podcasts. And it just sounded like a very safe and very sort of fun platform where you're literally talking into a microphone. But then there's so many people out there who can relate to you, and you don't have to stop everything that you're doing to be able to listen to a podcast. I think that's such a big plus. I could be going anywhere, I could be anywhere in the world and doing anything basically, and I could just, put a podcast episode on and just, multitask. And for somebody who literally cannot multitask, it's such a good sort of way to keep up with the things that you like and also get other things done at the same time without having to procrastinate about them, and basically that. One day I was just sitting down and I was talking to myself and I was like, you know what, I could literally record this stuff and put it out there and people would probably be so entertained, because I have just all these wild thoughts in my head and I just say the most absurd things at points, and I'm just like, wow, if somebody listened to me talking, they'd probably be laughing their asses off. Or I would at least like to believe that I'm funny like that, but who knows. Anyway, so yeah, my channel is gonna be very casual. I have a lot of ideas that I want to explore, talk about, and give my opinion, and maybe, have people over, talk, chat, because I love that sort of stuff. So hopefully that's the direction I'm going to be taking with this channel, and hopefully I can be consistent, because if there's one thing that I hate about myself, it is that it takes a lot of strength and a lot of willpower for me to start something, and then it takes double the amount of effort to keep it going. And this is just natural. Obviously you have to put in the effort. You can't just expect something, you start something and then expect it to just acquire a mind of its own and start doing things by itself. It's not magic. You're not in Hogwarts to get up. But I also think that compared to the normal people out there, I kind of find myself to be very, very lazy in terms of keeping up with my projects. I tend to just lose my motivation in the smack dab middle of going through a project, and it has been very inconvenient for me over the years. And this year, when the year began, I was like, I need to do something, start something new, but also I just stick to it. So this is my resolution for the new year. I want to stick to this podcasting, hobby, this new journey that I'm starting, and hopefully I can be consistent with it and bring you more stuff, bring you new episodes, and grow this channel hopefully in the near future. So that is my aim and goals, and I guess I should just stop talking about myself. I've been rambling on about myself for the past I don't know how many minutes, and I feel like this is the longest I've ever talked about myself. It's just, I feel very obnoxious. I don't know, very self-centered right now. So I'm just gonna stop talking and end this episode here on this very positive note that, I can get through this, phase of, I would like to call it a phase, because I don't want to call it a personality trait at this point. I still have hope, to overcome this attitude of starting something and then just giving up in the middle. So hopefully I won't do that with this podcast, and we can make something out of this. And if you've stuck by, listen to me rant for the last I don't know how many minutes, then thank you so much for being here with me. And I'll see you with a new episode very, very soon. See you! I'll be back with a new episode very, very soon. I'm still trying to get my hang of the stuff, so I'm sorry if this is a little haphazard, but yeah, poodles. See you guys later. I hope you're gonna be safe out there, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having a good day. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.